What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. It should be no surprise that Disney has been a mess for a long time. Years. I mean, a decade of failed Star Wars. The Marvel movie since Endgame, just absolutely abysmal. 2023 was just one loss. Just one big loss. The only movie that made money was Guardians, and it was a carryover. Mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, and no signs of slowing down or stopping. So this, I guess, opinion piece article asks, after disaster, when did Disney know and what did Disney know and when did they know it? I still don't think they're going to acknowledge the disasters, and I still am not sure if anyone really has gotten the totality of the failure. They are in a weird alternate reality. So let's get into this. So it is all about time. Big projects take time. Big entertainment projects take lots of it. If you measure them by when the public first hears the news, it is usually several years for a movie, a TV show, a cruise ship, an amusement park attraction, the kind of things we love and pay attention to here to happen. But in point of fact, if you add in the time from the first, what if we, to even that first public announcement, many more are involved. So when you figure all that effort, imagination, logistical planning, and massive millions of dollars, but get a dud or worse, the obvious question to ask, at least for those of us who lived through the famous Watergate hearings and remember the phrase so well, is what they did know, is what did they know and when did they know it? Okay. By the way, if you go back and look at the Watergate now, whoo, what a government op. To take out the sitting president. Where have we seen that before? And again, for example, a new Indiana Jones movie to follow the successful franchise's track record of excellence is made. And wow, does it stink bad enough, not only to fail on its own rights, both creatively and financially, but bad enough to make any thought of ever making another one nigh on impossible. What did they know and when did they know it? Likewise, a whole progression of movies, TV series, and other projects attempting to, with Echo, I hope you mentioned what did they know and when did they know it? Because they clearly did know, and they even said this is the type of shit we would release on Disney Plus. Oh, that was for the Marvels. They said this is the type of shit we would release on Disney Plus. Remember when they tried to skate quickly over thin ice? What did they know? When did they know it? Okay. With the possible exceptions of King Arthur and Robin Hood, the most successful franchises of all media history, with the possible exceptions of King Arthur and Robin Hood, are planned, financed, executed, and get worse and worse until the newest one is deemed by one and all the franchise killer, and probably is just that. What did they know and when did they know it? The decision is made based on utterly erroneous non-facts and politics to transform potentially the world's most popular, cherished theme park ride in a way that not only ruins it, but is regretted by the fans of the newer IP overlay too, and leading to millions in losses now and in future from lowered overall attendance. Splash Mountain was my favorite one. They messed it up. What did they know and when did they know it? Well, they knew it was bad because we saw the WDW Pro article. So they've known this has been bad for about 2 years. And they went right ahead and did it anyway. They take an inspirational delight, wonderful place about hope and progress and optimisms, and its vistas, classic architecture, and one heck of a humongous fountain, and tell you they will make it even better, put up the green walls that never seem to go away, announce wonders, cancel them, and in the end, deliver something unworthy of a junior college campus or a bargain convention hotel. What did they know and when did they know it? Well, they knew the Galactic Starcruiser was shite almost immediately. Yes, I know. You saw all the people pre-order and all spend all the money and the $5,000 for a family of 4 for 2 nights, and then the first videos came out. Then the purple Twellick fighting for the freedom of her people that caused Gary to throw the extra Peter Parker head and break his screen. Yeah. All that came out, and the cancellations started, then the video tours, and then, well, we saw what happened to them. Here we go. And most recently, a highly successful cruise ship line that already had experience with their own private island plans and a world-class designer / Imagineer's guidance. A second new private oasis in the sea, but somehow ignores the logistics will make guests of all ages and degrees of ability walk more than a mile just to get to and from the ship. And when they get to the beautiful offerings, fight their way through hordes of potentially disease-bearing flies to even get a bite to eat. Oh, that sounds great. What did they know, and when did they know it? Because there's one certain thing here they knew. They knew a long time before these things opened. They knew long time before even rumors began to stir. They had to know. You don't build a resort island overnight, and while you're doing it, you have people there who eat food and thus experience those flies, and we're supposed to believe they didn't know. Those people walking to and from the boat dock have feet that get sore and bodies that get winded and wilted by tropical sun and humidity, just like the future guests will, yet we're supposed to believe the managers didn't know. People who've built the world's greatest attractions, made the biggest box office movies with real appeal, do what they are so highly paid to do well, and create not one, not five, but years, a decade worth of utter artistic flops with plot holes and problems you can see from Bespin to Tatooine. Yet we're supposed to think that nobody over the years of doing it noticed a problem. They knew. They knew the artistic, creative, emotional, angry experiences they were going to put their audiences through, and did it anyway. They knew with years to spare to fix them, alter, or admit defeat and stop these things before even announcing them to the public. And certainly once they'd embarked on them with open disclosure, or at least they knew when they were lied about the budgets, lied about the process, lied about the funding that was tied to legally mandated exposure in order to get tax breaks. They lost that by fucking up and coming after children and attacking parents in Florida. Lied about the certain to be debunked false headlines and iffy claims and dubious dollars they tried to spin into reality that the audience for both the art and the stock and the credibility and the reputation of the company built for a century, that they'd be outed sooner or later. They knew they had to know. So that famous question, what did they know and when did they know it? They knew it all. They should have known it all when they could have fixed, paused, reevaluated, or even stopped and said, whoops, isn't working. Won't work. Sorry, never mind. In short, if you think a company run by a guy acclaimed as a business genius who says he watches everything they do 3 to 5 times before approving it for release on unsuspecting world didn't know, well, just look at what he actually said months ago when he surveyed that new ride. He said it was boring. There are lots of things you'll want an attraction featuring flume rides and animatronics and riding on the momentum of the fun one that replaces it. Boring isn't one of them. And when your first instinct at that point is to hide it, how to spin it, how to do anything except fix it, that says you hold your various audiences, from theme park visitors to cruise ship passengers, from investors to movie ticket buyers, and from anywhere that is the source of all your success, in one thing and one thing only: contempt. And yeah, they have hated us for a long time. So based on that what and when question is clear and impossible to ignore. While I appreciate the frustration, disappointment, and dismay over the individual projects I've briefly mentioned, and there are lots more, of course, in various media and arenas of business, but that all have the questions answered in common and take the same guilty pleasure in mocking them as they so richly deserve mockery. I, for one, refuse to get angry about the results. I'm not mad about storylines that don't work, dialogue that's leaden, effects that are broken, food that is infested, or any of the rest of the things they had to know a long time before we did. But contempt for me, my family, my hard-earned dollars, my trust, my trust, my right to expect value or even excellence from their promises to provide it to me, which clearly, thanks to their contempt, were the biggest lies of all. That makes me mad. And I share this with you to say that even if your hopes and, yes, wishes brought you all the way to today to realize the truth about what they knew and when they knew it and how they acted on that knowledge in a way that tells you just how much contempt they have for you when they smile and tell you about the magic of it all, that should be what makes you mad too. What did you know and when did you know it? If this is when you finally knew how contemptuous this company has become for you, well, it is, as I said up front, about time. I'm going to let that speak for itself. Let me know what you think of this. Should like, share, and sub. If you've done that, thank you. And if you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.